Hey, Cardinals fans, welcome back to another episode of the Redbird Rundown, presented by I-70 Sports. I'm Andy, joined today from our Italian friend, not Jason, or Thomas the Sajasi. I wish it was.
Nope,
No Thomas the Train, the Italian.
What a
just me.
disappointment.
Just me.
But
Didn't see him over there.
You didn't? I was
Didn't.
going
I
to
was
ask you
looking
that. We have Jonathan and Matt joining me today. And, just take a second and really do us a favor. Share us on Spotify or Apple links with your friends. That really helps out a ton. That can be found on Facebook, Blue Sky, Twitter, or you can watch us on YouTube. You can also watch us. Today, we're going to break down everything you need to know about those winter meetings that have been going on, which we need to get some media credential, boys. I just want to go see what some of these things are like how bougie of an event this is, and what everybody's schmoozing, and like what they do. Is it just like a bunch of homies, hanging out, got their big league chew, and
Nothing screams bougie like Big League Chew.
you know what I mean?
I mean, it was at a Hilton, in Orlando. So I don't know. I really have no idea. Do they go behind? Do they just have like meetings? Is that what they're doing? I genuinely
I
have
gather
no
it's
clue.
at a big hotel and there's just guys all over the
Interfacing.
lobby. And I
Yeah.
think that, I think the GMs are actually meeting and then there's just the crush of hangers on,
Yeah.
the media guys,
Do you
the
think do you think they have like station or what are they called? Like, and not stations.
Oh, like a press pool, like the spot they're in.
No, they just have like little, it's like, yeah, I don't know, like little setups.
I don't
like
actually know if
like the
there's like a
teams.
schedule of events or not. I don't know that
That's what I mean.
I don't know if there is like panels and things like that. I don't
We need to
think
know
there
this
is, but
information.
I don't really know.
Let's go.
Maybe they're just pressing their ears against the door.
Redbird
They're like,
Rundown 2026. Let's get this down there.
Let's get it. I'd go.
Well,
Just to
Haim's an
see
old
what's
dear friend of mine, so I'll just have to reach
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So before we get into those big headlines, which there are a few things, some rumors, but there is some concrete things that happened. Some things Haim said that are very interesting, very perplexed at maybe what some of the impact of some of the positions that we're going to start the opening day this year with. But let's go real quick to our Italian friend and just Jonathan, of all the things that you experienced in Italy, give us probably like something that's overlooked that just more people should know about. Because I think a lot of things people know about with Italy, like
Yeah,
pasta,
sure.
the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the Colosseum,
Sure.
all that kind of stuff. Give me something that if I were to go,
Yeah.
like you need to do this because this was unexpectedly good.
Yeah, okay. Um, my mind immediately gravitates toward. I was gonna say food. That's an easy one. Everybody goes there for food, See the sights at night, the lights, the way that it's lit in the day. There are just so many people, droves of people. The tour buses are running. I'm talking about Rome specifically. So we're talking about the Pantheon, Trevi Fountain, Spanish Steps, the Vatican City, right? So all during the day, I mean, it's shoulder to shoulder. You feel like you're at Disney World. At night, though, nobody's out, and it's all lit up really beautifully. You can get really close. It's just totally different. Seeing monuments, seeing things at night, even like DC or New York. If you've been to these bigger cities at night, it just looks really, really nice. So that would be my thing. Is I don't think
All right.
people really do that. Is go see the stuff at night. It's a totally different experience.
There we go. We're just gonna have a segment of travel tips with Johnny.
That's right.
I like that one.
That's right.
Okay. Do you, Matt, have a? We're gonna go into vibe checks here
Okay.
and it can be off season. It could be Cardinals related. It could not. Mine's not going to be. Matt, do you have a vibe check of how you're
If
feeling
you
this
guys
week?
will allow me a couple extra words, I am ready for my vibe check to be the most wonderful time of the year.
Okay.
And I love Christmas. Like this is going to be a somewhat controversial take. I love Christmas. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Specifically, what I mean by the most wonderful time of year, though, is December 26th through December 31st. The whole world shuts down. Nobody does anything. There's no
You just
expectations on
game.
anybody. You just, well, sure. You do what you like to do, game, watch TV, read books, but what almost everybody, that's just kind of like an understood, like, yeah, we're just taking off work that week. Jonathan, are you working that week?
No, absolutely not.
Unless people go on a trip. That is the worst time of the year. I've had the unfortunate disaster
it.
trip twice. I don't know why I did it a second time. That's shame on me. But it is atrocious. We went to Gatlinburg once in that week. Oh
Mm.
my Lord. Never again.
We batted
So
that around and decided against it
just
because
don't.
it's
That's a
just
hard no.
let
Yeah.
me say one more thing. I feel like that is the week where I just do whatever I want. I eat like Oreos and milk for breakfast. I just do just live literally YOLO.
Yeah.
And then like you hit rock bottom on December 31st and you're
The
like, I
sugar
can't live with
buildup.
myself anymore. I just can't do it.
I
And
hate
so then
myself,
January 1st, January 1st, you're like, charged up, ready to go, new
Back at
year,
it.
feeling it. So there's
Mhm.
there's ups and downs that week, but I just think it's all part of the
Will there
package.
be a copious amount of peanut butter blossom cookies eaten over Christmas?
Oh,
Mom,
if
start
there's
cooking
not,
now. Start
Mom,
cooking now.
sorry.
I'm
Sorry.
gonna unload. There's about 5 pounds of bulk that I need. I'm gonna unload on those suckers.
100%.
Okay, Johnny, you got any
Yep,
vibe check for
I do.
yourself?
I do. This is sort of travel related, but not Italy related. And one of the planes that we were flying back on, I had direct TV just in
Hmm,
the thing. And
okay.
I sat there and I'm like, huh, what's on? I haven't watched TV like that. I
Mm-hmm.
genuinely couldn't tell you the last time I did that. I'm flipping through and ESPN and it's PTI. And I'm like,
Oh, Tony and Mike.
let me see. And I watched it, and it is astounding how much it has not changed. I mean, the decorations, the way that it goes, the little like it's what was the commercial? Like some kind of alcohol. And I remember the commercial. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the same lady who narrates. It's the same guy who's yelling like the word or whatever where they
Yeah,
debate
it's
whatever it
the
is.
OG though. I mean, they came as close as you
Yeah.
can to just perfecting that.
But it's still amazing.
Yeah.
I literally was like taken from the seat and just like warped back into like,
Mm-hmm.
middle school, like sitting on the
2009.
couch. Yes, like watching this. And it's so funny because, Kornheiser, they were talking about Lindsey Vaughn. She won an
Mm-hmm. She
event.
won. Yeah, she did.
And Kornheiser was like genuinely making me laugh on this plane. He was like, "These people are insane. She's insane. They go down these
She got
hills. It's a sheet of
titanium
ice.
ligament or knee, something
Yeah."
like
And he's
that.
like, "They're going 400 miles an hour." It was just, I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe that they're still doing this exact same way. It was amazing.
What we need to know was Around the Horn on right before that or after it?
No, he wrapped it up. I
Yeah,
watched the last
yeah.
episode of that.
I just thought if we were going to be
Just
transported back to 2009, we should just
man,
go all the way.
I just couldn't believe it. Like it is a gem of a show. Like it just is. It's so funny. It's so quick. It keeps your
Kornheiser's going to be pushing
attention.
80 too.
But he
It's-
even looks the same.
yeah, well, he's
It's
been old
amazing.
for a long time.
So there you go. PTI is still amazing.
Okay.
My vibe check is my tailbone hurts.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's it. There we go. All right, moving on. No,
That's it.
That's it. I mean, that's all you need to know. It kind of it's been lingering for a while, and the older we get, they sit longer, and it
The,
makes
the listener you just draw your own conclusion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a free advertisement for our Patreon only podcast, Redbird Rundown After Dark. You can find out why Andy's tailbone hurts.
Why
working
is the
out.
tailpipe hurting?
working out. That's what's happening.
$5 a month. I tell you what, that first month, we just need one episode. That's all
And
you're gonna
10 will show you.
Tony Kornheiser is 77 years old, by the way. All right, thank you, Google.
do. Put him in the
Wow.
White House.
Yeah, that's right. This is post recording of this podcast. We have breaking news as we're wrapping up recording the podcast, and we didn't catch it. But the Cardinals agree to a new deal with right-handed pitcher Dustin May, who is a former Dodgers and hold on to your hats for this organization, Boston Red Sox player.
What?
Yeah. So walk me through some of this, you guys, that you were telling me about him. I know nothing about Dustin May, but you guys seem like you know like a little bit that he was hurt, something like that.
Yeah, he's hurt. Awesome red hair. Matt, tell us.
Well, so he really burst onto the Dodgers scene with the Dodgers in the COVID season at 22 years old and posted crazy numbers, like really, really great numbers during that COVID season. And then since then, I'm just looking through his baseball reference page right now. It's injuries every single year. So we will see. He pitched a lot more last year, kind of coming back and getting healthy. He's had a normal offseason. Everything is good. So obviously we'll have a deeper dive on him next week. But just instant, right away thoughts. This team, I do not expect this team to be good in 2026. I think this is exactly the kind of stuff that we should be doing as the Cardinals because look what happens. If he's great for us, we could agree to a longer term deal with him, or we could flip him at the deadline for some free prospects. And I think that's awesome too. So I love it. I see virtually no downside with this. I have no idea what the money is at this point, but for 1 year and our payroll is going to shoot way down. It's DeWitt's money. I don't care anyway. So I see this as pure upside. Jonathan, any
Yeah,
downsides from?
no. Phil's a gaping hole in a rotation of just a known guy who maybe can throw innings. I know we're talking about injury history. We need somebody to throw innings, but why not give a guy the sandbox to come back and to get healthy? Because if he is, let me throw you just some quick stuff plus numbers each year in his major leagues.
Oh,
Listen to this top one in 2021. This is after he burst onto the scene. For an entire year, his stuff plus was 133. 133. 33% better than league average. That's absolutely insane. Now, it goes down from there.
sure.
But injuries and that cannot be stated enough and how he's been injured every single year. So I love it. I can't wait to do a little more research on him to see why it kind of fell apart. But we need to do stuff like this. I don't even care what the numbers are, Matt. You said at the end, I don't care what the salary is. It does not matter. Win-win for us. If he's not good, okay, well, we didn't. It's not like he was blocking anyone. And if he's great, we just stumbled into an awesome dude for nothing.
Gives you time to let Quinn Matthews continue to with his location issues in Memphis. Andy, have you stumbled onto his picture yet?
I did,
Oh
and I
yeah.
stumbled across the fact that his wife saved him. He was
Oh.
choking. He bit some lettuce, and he was
What?
choking. Yeah, they rushed him. They had that evening. They had to rush him to the ER where he had emergency surgery to repair a tear in his esophagus.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah,
You know,
so
I'm over here looking at stuff plus.
Hashtag bigger than baseball. Yeah.
yeah,
Andy's
well,
got the real deets.
2024. So what my take was that is that there was a Dodgers pitcher that was hurt. No,
Does
Yeah.
it concern you that the Dodgers let him go?
no, because no, they're like the black hole of
Okay.
like pitchers. They hurt everybody. I don't know what's happening on the West Coast, but they hurt every pitcher.
When your
They
rotation is Yamamoto, Otani, Glasnow,
don't need him.
Snell,
Yeah.
you just don't need Dustin May. So he
And
was
he is
not
a
good
starter,
at all
right?
for the Red Sox starter. Yes. So May will be the gray, right? Probably a huge downgrade for us, but could be in the same ballpark as Sonny if he has a good healthy year. Could be in the same really talented guy. So this is a very interesting move. Let me just say this too before we go. An anti-Mozielak move. We never did stuff like this. Plays for talent, high upside kind of guys, and I love this kind of stuff. Chaim, just keep blooming, buddy.
Last point for me. The red hair, the red beard with the Friday City Connect red jerseys is just gonna be red. Just straight up and down. He needs to wear red pants and just call it a day.
So apparently his former teammate Noah Syndergaard called him Gingergaard. So
Well,
I'm good with that.
we're adopting that right now on the Redbird Rundown podcast. We will
Right.
have a deep
Ginger
dive on Gingergaard next week for sure.
All right. And now for the rest of the episode. All right. So winter meetings are
Mm-hmm.
occurring, listener. Occurred
Occurred.
past
Yep,
tense.
yep. Mhm.
And as we discussed, we want to know what those GMs slash owners, right? Owners are down there as well.
I think some of
Cruising.
them, not all of them,
Yeah.
but probably some.
Just, is it just people kicking it back at the bar? Just like, you think they're just like fantasy drafting? Like, I want to be a fly on the wall in there. And be
Yeah.
like, did they just talk about like, hey, how about whoever? Just name a player. Do you think
I
that's
think
how
they just
that
kick it
starts?
off. I think they just kick it off. They start, who's available, what are your needs? Everybody's in the same room. If you've ever had to like travel for a job, different conversations happen when you see people face to face as opposed to shooting them a text or an
I
email.
like to
or
think that
something,
Heim is locked in though. He's
Yeah.
not messing around. He's
Yeah.
he's not just kicking it. He's got his spreadsheets. He's got his whiteboards. He's ready. He's rock and
Yeah.
roll.
So
Yeah.
let's give the listener, if they're out of that pulse of that arena, out of the loop. We heard a few things from a few different players that never materialized yet, and we're going to discuss about do we feel like there needs to be like a deadline to help move things along. But let's go through a few things that we did hear, some of the rumors that we heard. Matt, why don't you go with the what we heard involving the Yankees, maybe? Uh,
You clue me in. I'm not sure.
with the fact that they're looking at Donnie.
Oh well, I mean half the league or
I
more is
mean,
looking at Donnie.
yeah,
So
there's
Yeah.
like 20 teams that have called about him.
yeah, I think that was the thing of anything from my expectations in the winter meetings was that Donnie would be moved because there's so much interest. There's the Mariners, there's the Royals, there's the Yankees, there's just copious amounts of interest in this guy, the versatility, all the things, and that didn't happen. And I kind of battled back and forth those 3 days of the winter meetings, thinking like, is this disappointing? Like, am I frustrated by this? And then I took a step back and I thought, okay, well, Ketel Marte is on the market as well. Brandon Lowe. There's some other second basemen. So I just think like there are just I think at this point in the winter, teams have a bunch of pots and a bunch of different fires, and they're just kind of waiting and seeing what's going on. So I'm willing to give Heim the benefit of the doubt. I really thought that we might get a Donnie trade. I thought we might get a Newt trade. I thought
Hmm.
Romero might go. And now there's noise on Contreras with the Red Sox. So
Hmm.
I thought that this would be a little more action. It turned out to be all talk, and maybe there are standing offers. Those are the things we
Right.
can't really know is what is truly happening behind the scenes. So I will say those 3 days, I was constantly checking and scrolling Twitter, trying to figure out what was going on. I was a little disappointed there was nothing, but I will continue to trust the Heim Bloom process for
I
now.
would imagine it's kind of like a Jenga tower. Like one chip is
Yeah,
going to fall into place, and then like
yeah,
18 things are going to happen. Kind of like when Pete Alonso went to the Orioles, and the Mets started making moves in order to like everyone's the uncertainty. Maybe someone has an option A, and they're all waiting for option A to make a choice, and then boom, there's
yeah,
two or three secondary, tertiary moves that they're going to make in case option A falls through. That's how
Yeah.
I take those things.
Yeah.
Because also Willie is linked to maybe the Mets trying to help replace the Pete Alonso exit, which makes sense to me if I'm in the Mets organization. Uh, so what we actually, the only concrete thing that happened, other than lots of talking and lots of rumors and lots of people asking, for Donnie, for a couple of really good prospects from the Yankees is rumored to be one of the options. But we did pick the still honestly they need to pick better names for things in MLB. It's a Rule 5 draft pick, and that has got to be
What do you want this draft to be called? Like the longtime minor league guy draft? The
something that
didn't
is
progress fast enough draft? I don't know what to call it.
something.
Yeah.
I mean, just give it a random person's last name. I don't care what it is.
Oh, okay.
The Smith
Okay.
draft. I don't care.
Like the Tony Gwynn Memorial Draft or something.
Yeah,
Just
just
yeah,
not
spice it
Rule
up.
5.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah. What
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 are
are
we?
rules
Is
one,
this
two,
the
three, and four?
Empire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
That's funny.
hilarious.
So we did pick up Matt Pishard. We're going with Pishard.
I like
Okay.
Pashard. That sounds
Yep.
real regal.
Yeah.
I like that.
And that is a bullpen guy. Yes.
That's what I'm gathering. Yeah, he didn't start when I looked at his page. He didn't start very many. He started one time. I assume it was like an opener thing. Threw like 60 innings in AAA. This is from the Marlins. He's
Mhm.
been pretty good. I mean, the K per nine is like 10 something. I think I was seeing, and out of the bullpen, you want something maybe a little bit higher than that. That's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but fewer innings, you want a higher K per nine if you could out of the bullpen. Like for example, Edwin Diaz, who went to the Dodgers, which is
Mm.
just we didn't talk about that. That's
Yeah.
just
Well, yeah. We can
fair.
we make a pit stop.
Yeah,
Did you
I
hear?
mean,
Did you see his press conference?
I actually was watching that on the plane as well, which is just hilarious.
So
But
did you hear him say this is one of the hardest? This was not an easy decision to then finalize that paragraph that he stated to say this was the easiest decision of my life.
yeah,
The
he sometimes I
juxtaposition there.
wonder if these guys get nervous or if English, that's not their primary language. Like they don't really know necessarily like what they're saying and how it comes off. But
I
it was
think
hilarious though.
it was.
You also
I
have
think
to
what
do
he-
two things. You have to
Yeah.
say sorry Mets fans,
Yeah,
but hello
yeah,
Dodgers fans. You have to
yeah,
speak to both groups of people. So
yeah,
How I really interpreted that after I thought about it was it's like it was not an easy decision to leave the Mets, but once
yeah.
that decision had been made, it was easy to know where I was
bingo,
going.
Right,
bingo.
right. So anyway, to tie it back to Diaz, he's had some years where his K per nine was 17. That's otherworldly, like talking about speaking another language. That's otherworldly. That doesn't happen. So 10 is pretty good. I just thought, and Matt, I'll ask you what you thought because I know you've had a little more time to think about old Pashard here. It's just a low risk way to get a bullpen guy. We keep him if he doesn't work out. Andy, the minutia behind the Rule 5 is he goes back to the Marlins. It's basically no harm, no foul. We lose a little bit of money, but you're going to see him on the major league roster. He has to be in our bullpen this year. So this is just another way to see, hey, does he work out? If not, no worries.
So is this Matt at like a macro level play, you think, as in like they're prepping for some type of event to happen, as in we have many stakes in the fire and the coal, and this is one way to replace like Pashard is a replacement
Oh,
for X, Y,
sure.
or Z player. Do you think that
Sure.
that's maybe what's going on here?
Yeah, I think that's definitely possible. Like a JoJo, although obviously JoJo's a lefty and Pritchard's a righty. Yeah, I had not really thought about it in that way. I think that's possible. I also just sort of think this is how Heim operates.
Yeah.
And Jonathan, your tone on him, I mean, again, you've just flown the coop here back into your
Yeah.
home. I was kind of excited about this.
Yeah.
At 28 years old, I feel like we have just unearthed another diamond in the rough. I mean, mid 90s fastball, good breaking stuff. 3.61 ERA, 2.98 FIP, more than 1K per inning. And I just thought, that's fantastic. This costs us nothing. Let's throw this guy in our bullpen. Let's see what happens. You know, and we've been talking about how Bloom is going to operate with this team. This is
Hmm.
precisely the kind of stuff that I want. And
Hmm.
guess what? If we've unearthed this diamond and it turns out to just be, oh shoot, what's a fake diamond? What's the stuff?
Oh, zirconium.
Yeah,
Yes,
cubic
if it's
zirconium.
zirconium, guess what? We ship him back down to Miami. He can get some
Yeah.
Cuban sandwiches and
Yeah.
everything is fine. But I really like this. I thought it was good. There is one piece of intel I saw on him in that he has trouble getting lefties out.
Hmm.
So he may need to develop a changeup. That happens to be a specialty in the Cardinals organization, which is adding a changeup. And I
Hmm.
think that those could be pieces of the puzzle that the Bloom administration is fitting together here.
Yeah.
Until I am proven wrong and he does something where we're like, what was that? I'm
Hmm.
just going to continue to be excited about his moves. I expect Pushard to be in the bullpen all year and be pretty good. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, and I think too I guess I shouldn't sound so muted. I'm not trying to. I think what I'm trying to do is he is a
Jet
Rule
lag,
5
maybe.
guy. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's a Rule 5 guy.
He's a Rule 5 guy.
He's
I
a
know.
Smith guy. Yeah, Smith
Yeah, right,
Smith
right.
draft pick. Yep.
He Fernandez was, but we changed him around and he was really good, but he also fell off the planet. Let's see if he can pick it up. What I like, and Matt, to your point, is I feel like what Heim likes to do, based on a very small sample size, is find something that they like about this guy. Oh, it's a fastball. It's a slider. Maybe we feel like we can add something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might as well give it a try. We don't have to sign him to some 3-year deal. We don't have to do anything. It's just, okay, buddy, come on in. If you are
Correct.
hot garbage, we'll see you. Exactly. That's why I love the Rule 5 is if it doesn't work, it's fine. If it does, it's
Sorry,
like,
that's
look
the
how
Smith
brilliant
draft
we
rule.
look, you know? Yeah,
Thank you.
sorry.
Thank you.
So
I
I'm with
was
you, Matt. I'm with you.
I was also relieved to see that we could do something besides from the Red Sox farm system and the Guardians farm system, that it's not always going to be that. We've got a lot of front office guys right now with ties to those two organizations.
Yeah.
And to the extent that that helps us, I think that's great. But it's like, I don't know, it's like your buddy that goes to the same two restaurants and gets the same two things all the time. It's just
Yeah.
nice to know that we've got another play, especially if this
Right.
works, would be good.
We also share a spring training facility with Miami, and sometimes I wonder if you see a guy like this, or I guess I just wonder if I'm surprised we don't deal with them more often because you see their guys a lot. You have to if you share the same facilities and you're doing stuff. But I thought that was interesting because when you think of Miami, you think everybody's terrible.
Can we chase a
Yeah.
rabbit real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so Jonathan, you just said you
Uh-huh.
see those guys a lot,
Yeah.
right? Pick them up. Do you guys know the YouTuber Jesser, NBA guy, basketball content creator?
I
I
don't.
do not.
Okay, he yesterday he posted a video with Luca, to which they dress people in like all black basically, and
Uh-huh.
like put ski masks on them and goggles, and one of them is an NBA player or former NBA player, and the other five are not, and they have to
Oh.
ask them questions, have them do basic things. That's the premise, and Luca is there to help them try to figure out
Determine.
who is. And something incredible that my wife and I were watching this was she was kind of half listening, but then she was amazed at one point when they had them just shoot a jump shot, and immediately,
No, he's
Luka,
going to know.
immediately,
Yeah.
Luca knew,
Damn.
and that's what that. Do you think you or any of us could do? I mean, I'm not talking about just a jump shot. Like, could you pick out? I would probably be able to pick out a few distinct pitching motions or batting stances. but like I don't know if I could pick out like a jump shot or how some like even his movement. Luca was like, I know
Yeah.
him, and then like in the middle of the thing redacted his name because Luca called it out like 15 minutes into the video, and the video was like 30 minutes. He's like, that's Danny Green, and sure enough, it
Oh,
was Danny Green. And I was like, golly. Do you think
well,
that that's how those guys are, that they see each other that much that like they could pick out like do you think an MLB pitcher could pick out like
Yes.
lots of weird thing like they're watching so much film of people that they're like, yeah, I know who this is.
yes,
Absolutely.
I
I
think
think
so
if
too.
the teachers that I work with, I think if you gave me a printout of a sentence or like a paragraph that they said while teaching, I think I could pick out every
Mm,
single one of the people that I work with. I just think this is what they
wow.
do. Now, granted that what you're talking about suggesting is a much larger pool of people, but I think this is what they eat and breathe and
Mhm.
sleep. They're doing this like 8 hours a day, not just on the field. They're doing other stuff off the court too. So.
All right, boys,
Yeah,
do not lie for claiming that internet. We're gonna claim that content. We're gonna
yeah,
do that one day. We're gonna have MLB pitchers come on and see if they can figure out who the MLB player is. All right, thank you,
Okay.
Jester. All
it
right.
is. Thanks, buddy.
Okay. Yep. All right. So, are we at all thinking that because of the lack of moves, Matt's frantic refreshing of Twitter or X, do we feel like the MLB could benefit on a bigger level of a deadline for whatever free agency, off-season trades, that kind of thing, just to move things along instead of being like snail's pace and then like one thing happens. I mean, that kind of happens in the NFL and the NBA, like around the deadline. But do we think that the MLB or do we like this more like
Mm.
schmoozing at the winter meetings and just kind of, you know, it
Yeah,
kind of hangs out there in the balance and there's
Mm.
drama and the rumors. Jonathan, what do you think?
yeah. I looked up, and Matt, or you guys correct me if I'm wrong. The NFL, the NBA, I didn't see has like a you must sign these people by this period. It's just free agency opens. A lot of times in the NBA, it happens pretty quickly. It feels like, first couple days, the tampering, right? They've talked to these guys 3 months earlier.
Mhm.
I didn't see anything in NFL. Before I continue, Matt, is that what you saw? Is there any
There's a free agency period in the NFL too, an opening to the free
right? Like
agency.
it opens, but there's no like you
There's
have
no
to sign guy.
close.
Okay,
No, because you
that's
could
what
have
I'm
a
getting
guy, you could have your
Yeah, get
Phil May
hurt in the
tons.
middle
at.
of
Okay,
the season.
Right.
so back to my point here.
Signed Philip Rivers, who's 44 years old.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think that the winter meetings, it's annoying that there isn't much progress, but this is kind of like sort of the beginning of the off season, or maybe like a third of the way through, or just I don't know. Like it's not like towards the end. Spring training is the end, so we're still 2.5 months, a month and a half away from that. I think that if it goes into spring training, there needs to be penalties. That's happened before. I don't even think Bregman signed until spring training last year or something crazy like that. That's too far. When the season starts, when spring training happens, you got to quit this. Like
So
I
they're
know
like
it's I know
considered
it's
holdouts or
annoying.
something like that.
Yeah, that's happened where it just doesn't. No one, then their spring training starts later. It's just annoying. I think anything in spring training, it's got to stop for free agency. That's just where I'm at. I don't know how you would. I don't know how it would benefit the players if you said you have to sign them by, or really benefit anyone. You got to sign them by the end of the winter meetings. Like, does that help this other than just for our entertainment?
I
Matt, what do
mean,
you
my
think?
answer is YES and not the network that carries the Yankees games. I think they absolutely should
The
do this.
Yankees dues.
Now, to your point, I do not think that there should be a close on free agency, but I think if they opened it, say, I just feel like baseball struggles so much with this because NBA fans are keyed in on that offseason stuff. Some NBA fans like the offseason stuff more than they like the season.
Yeah.
And the MLB season is just as long as the NBA season, meaning the offseason is just as compressed as the NBA season is, or the NFL season for that matter. So I absolutely think there should be like an artificial deadline for when you can start to sign guys
Yeah.
because everywhere that I've ever seen in the history of anything, any kind of deadline that you set creates intensity and creates pressure and creates movement. And I think this is what the MLB needs to do because they will have huge player movement sometimes in the offseason, and it will just get swamped because it doesn't happen until February or there's
Hmm.
rumors for weeks about it. And I think, once again, the MLB needs to wake up and understand if you're going to attract a younger fan base, you're going to have to play to that younger fan base. I think this is another opportunity for them. Like they are missing a huge amount of interest and fan engagement on this stuff because they're just letting the market be the market that's probably, economically
Uh-huh.
speaking, that's probably the smarter thing to do. But I think the better fan thing would be to get the engagement going, right?
There's more excitement with it, right? I
Yeah,
mean, you said it already. The deadline. What's exciting in Major League Baseball is the trade deadline.
exactly.
All these deals happened 3 minutes before. It's another opportunity for excitement. You're right, Matt. People in the NBA are very dialed in on what's happening in free agency. We have no idea what's going to happen here. Like I was listening to a little bit of Pete Alonso's Orioles presser because I was somehow had access to cable TV, 35,000 feet in the air. But he said somebody asked him what's it like to be in free agency, and he literally said it's very like weird. You don't have any idea what's going to happen or when it's going to happen. And I thought that's like a perfect way to describe this. You have no idea what's going to happen. Now, I know you could say that about the NFL or the NBA, but it feels like the MLB is mired down in more of this muck than the other two leagues that we're talking about.
I think so too. I would go so far as to say I think you go December and January,
Mm,
and you have some kind of cutoff, so you don't have the Alex Bregman signing into spring training.
I can't
I
stand that.
understand that that's the market working, but the market failed the player and failed the fans there, so we've got to shift the market. There's got to be some way that you can configure it where salaries of a certain level have to be completed by January 1st, or or not January 31st, excuse me. So there's
Yeah.
penalties on the team, something like that, because like the Cardinals as sellers, I'm just thinking like if you artificially inflate the pressure to get Donovan too, we might wrangle another prospect out of that. Now that might hurt
Yeah.
us down the road when we're
Yeah.
looking to add instead of looking to sell. But I just think everybody goes through these cycles except if you're the Dodgers. And so the teams would benefit and be hurt by. I really think this is a huge bollocks by the MLB, to use a
Yeah.
British term. I just think they're messing this up so bad.
Can I add on something else that I
Sure.
would personally like to vent about? It's a little bit different than I agree, first and foremost, with that. It would engage the people who are the manager simulators on Madden, 26 and 27.
I
Who
love
just
doing that stuff. Come on,
exactly.
guys.
So
Yeah.
that there are definitely people who are out there. Um, can I say also the MLB misses the mark with the draft? How I don't know the answer to this truly, so help me.
Hmm.
How many drafts are there in the MLB?
Like rounds?
No, just like Rule 5 is called the Rule 5
There's
draft pick.
two drafts. There's
Draft.
the amateur draft for high school and
College.
college players, and then
Mhm.
there is this Rule 5 thing. And it's specifically just because MLB has a much more extensive minor league system than
Mm.
either the NFL or the NBA. There's no equivalent because the players that you draft essentially in the NFL and the NBA just come straight to your team. I realize there's the G League, but
Yeah.
that's not really.
I
It's just
thought, is
because
there
you might
not
you might
an
draft an 18-year-old and he might be down there for 6 years.
is there not an international league?
It's a period. It's a signing period that
Yeah.
they just open it.
Now, there has
And
been
Like an
talk
international
of doing
draft?
an international draft. There's been talk of doing it, and that would probably help
yeah.
because that's where the Dodgers will also go in and get some of these premium prospects because they can just pay for it.
Yeah.
So that might be better, but there is no draft for international talent right now.
Yeah, okay, so maybe I'm convoluting the two. I would personally like, yeah, like the NFL, and maybe that's an interesting thought because MLB is definitely different with like the 18 levels of minor leagues that there
Yeah.
seem to be versus like you draft I don't know, Shadur Sanders and like he gets a start halfway through the season and then he's like, okay, no, he's our starting quarterback for the
Yeah.
rest of the season. There is not really that in MLB at all. And I think that the MLB suffers I understand why it happens, but I think that it suffers with like that hype train, like as in specifically the draft. Because the NFL, the draft can like instantly change that player, like the
Yeah.
quarterback can instantly that season change. When's the last time Paul Skeens did he
Well,
even
but he
come up the
wasn't up
same
the
year?
same year. I mean,
That's what I mean.
towards the very end, right? Exactly. And the Pirates are horrible. So
I mean, and that's the thing, Andy, to your point, back in the day, like, the 1940s, 50s, 60s, I mean, all the way through the golden years of all these really famous players, there wasn't a minor league system. They just get signed and played. That's what they did. Like, you just played. You just went out there and played. Now the product is way different. The talent is better now. There's a lot more of it. They need development. Some of these guys probably need less development. I think that guys should probably be thrown in there a little bit quicker, especially if you're a college guy, right? Like, we're
Hmm.
going to talk about Weatherholt here in a while. He's a college guy. He played for a couple years. He's fine. He doesn't need to go in single A. Like, put him in triple A and let's see how he goes. So that's another to your point. The MLB, there's just so much more talent. There's so many more players that it's difficult to have this immediate impact. Like Eli Wiltis, I think, or Willits, I can't remember. Matt, you remember
Well,
how we
it's,
were
yeah.
considering taking him and the Nationals took him? And he's like 17, he's 18.
Mhm.
They may not see this kid, like you said, to your point, for 6 years. That's about the least hyped up thing you could ever talk
I
about.
think that's it. I
You
think
know?
that's where I'm at with that is that like I guess I understand why.
Yeah.
It's just hard to get like hype about a draft pick when you don't see the effects for like
Mhm.
5 years. It's just like
Now,
Andy, I feel like you're reinforcing my point
yeah.
because you cannot hype the MLB draft like you hype the NBA and the NFL draft. You just can't.
can't
It's a
do it.
different system. You can't do that. So you can't also fumble away all of your off-season intrigue and pressure and intensity. You can't just fumble it away because this is what we've always done. I think MLB needs to overhaul this bad because they
Yep.
need to be doing something to stay relevant in the off-season because it is deep in the middle of football season and nobody is paying attention to the MLB unless you're like real into it like we are. And they need to compete at least some for that.
Can I suggest another thing I've been kicking around for a while, and is that they need to redo free agency in general. This is not like a brand new original thought, but the fact that it's surprising once in a generation that Juan Soto would enter free agency at age 25 is ridiculous, I think. We need to have guys that are younger enter into free agency so that there is some kind of urgency to sign these guys.
So less team control on younger guys.
Yes, yes. Get Mason Wynn into free agency sooner. Have people come out and want these guys. Like think about Donnie. Donnie's a pretty good baseball player. He is, right, by all accounts. He's going to enter free agency at age what, 30? Is it 30? You're already at the back half of this, man. Like you sign a 5-year deal, there's a good chance that the last
That's a
couple of
good
years of
point.
that aren't going to be great. So why I think we change that, it would maybe add some urgency in these teams to try to sign somebody who's 24 and you're paying for future performance, not, I don't know. Like this maybe is a separate thing. It's not necessarily like coalescing together, but I just wonder that because I think like everybody's freaking out about Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker's going to be 29. That's not young. He is in his prime, but it feels like we could do better with having younger guys get into free agency, and maybe force these teams to sign more people. I don't know. What do you guys think
I
about
like your idea from the player side. I like younger players getting paid what they're worth.
that? Yeah.
However, I hate your idea from the Cardinals side because I think you're just forcing Mason Wynn to the Dodgers sooner because our budget is not going to allow us to pay for the premium talent younger. The only way we can compete right now is to keep that premium. This is horrible system,
Yeah.
but to keep that premium young talent suppressed in their
Yeah.
actual
But
value.
isn't that part of why it's boring though? Like in the NBA, like Jason Tatum's big contract came up when he was 24. He signed a rookie deal and then he's back into free agency because it's so quick. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You get
Mhm.
drafted,
But you don't move in the NBA either unless you force a trade.
100%. But I guess I don't know. I just think that the whole thing. This is not a one fix thing. Like if you enact what I just said, you would have to do something to block the hedge fund
It would add
baseball
another
stuff.
layer, though. It would add more movement, and I don't see more movement as
Yeah,
bad from a
it
fan
just
perspective.
and it just depends exactly because it's like who's hyped up for Framber Valdez? Like that's one of the key free agents, and that's no disrespect to Framber Valdez. He's a good pitcher. He's 32. Like
Mm.
I don't know if there was some more,
Mm.
and maybe this is just the class. Okay, like last year was Juan Soto. That was Bryce Harper made it to free agency pretty early because he was really good. But then these teams play this control game where if you don't make it to the major leagues till you're 23, well, you got how many years until you yada yada yada. You could go on and on
Yeah,
and
the
on.
rookie contracts are too long.
The minor league system is just maybe a little bit too long
Well,
from
this
a
is why
fan perspective, from us, right?
Yeah.
Not from the teams, Matt. That's a good point.
this is why the only viable long-term performance-based achievement model for a franchise is to be draft and develop because
Yeah.
otherwise you end up with Nolan Arenado and you get a couple good years and then it falls off a cliff. Whoever signs Framber Valdez will probably get a couple good years out
Yeah.
of Valdez, and then
Yeah.
they'll be paying 3 bad years on the back end of the deal.
Yeah.
That's for the huge market teams. Now, Jonathan, you've said some stuff on this podcast I like a lot about
Yeah.
forcing some of these lower payroll teams to up their payroll. I like what you're saying there for
Mhm.
sure. But yeah, this would be a big shakeup. I don't know.
Well, and then just to piggyback off this conversation and back into the draft of the Cardinals news of us falling from
Mm.
8th to 13th. I my knee jerk reaction is that it is more about like how many times do people flop and mess up. I started to look at like a F war of like 1 through 30, like the players drafted those, and like it
Mm.
is just wildly all over the place. And so I'm not super worried from going from 8 to 13. I wouldn't even be super hype if we went one, because like sometimes those
Oh,
guys
I
who
would have, but
well, but like those people who like we're gonna select that, whoever's supposed to go that shortstop.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like, what if he's a big flop?
Greg Oden.
sure.
No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Greg
I mean,
Oden.
you know what I mean? Like, it's just
Yeah.
the draft is so volatile, like of where you find value. It's kind of like it feels like a little bit of luck on top of skill. I know that like you're seeing something in some guys. So that's my take. That the 8 to 13 is honestly not that big of a deal. Do you guys have a differing opinion of that
I
of
think
the
it
draft?
sucks, and here's why I like it. First of all, I think our draft lottery has kind of luck has evened out because we jumped up to get Liam Doyle several spots higher than we should have been. Andy, you're right. Liam Doyle could never turn into anything. I'd rather pick fifth than eighth. You know what I'm saying? As far as like getting the premium talents, but you are correct. There's a ton of volatility. So if we're going to jump up to get Liam Doyle, if the injury gods are going to help us, JJ Weatherholt fall to us at number 7 when he probably shouldn't have been there at 7. I feel like we've had some decent luck. I don't like that we're picking 13th. It kind of makes last year feel like sort of a waste. We finally started to sort of realize, oh shoot, we need to lose so we can get a better draft pick. And here the lottery gods have, kind of trampled on us. However, this keeps us open for top 6 picks in 2026 and 2027. And I'm here to tell you, I think it's entirely possible we could be qualifying for a top 6 pick in 2026. So,
Mm.
right, long term, I'm not sure this is the worst thing in the world. You can get a great player at 13, but it sucks. I'd rather pick 8th, but I see some like silver lining, I suppose.
That's interesting. I didn't think about it from that because you're saying that if you were in
If
whatever
we
the
had
top
gotten a
7
high
or
pick again, they
something,
would have banned us, yes,
it's
from
like
the top
a
6.
diminishing return. You can't go
Yeah.
back there and do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I largely agree with you guys. Andy, I just wrote down on my notes crapshoot. That's what the draft
Mm.
is. Unless there is a true 1 of 1 pick. Like if this was Paul Skeens and we got the second pick, I'd be devastated. The second pick is as good as the 50th pick if it's a Paul Skeens draft. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have had really good luck picking in like the 8th round, 7th round. We've gotten Donovan. We've gotten Newt Bar. We've gotten, I mean, I don't want to say this, but like Albert Pujols was like the 13,000th pick.
Sure.
It really doesn't necessarily matter. I think this is kind of you want to have a better chance of drafting higher, but I think there's also a disconnect between front offices and fans and how they evaluate all this talent, and that we think the chalk makes sense. Take this guy, and they could take somebody we've never even heard of because they like something. So I try not to think about the draft too much because of this very reason. It's not like the NFL draft. That is, if your record is bad, that's where you're going to pick. It's kind of nice. You know what I'm saying?
There's some certainty. Yeah.
This is rough because when we jumped up to 5, I was like, oh my gosh, we weren't even that horrible in 2024, and we got the 5th pick. It's like that's great. This is just the adverse to that. So, Matt, I like your approach there. It's okay. We'll find somebody at 13, whatever it is. It's still not in the 20s or 30s, right? That's not bad. But then gives us an opportunity because if we have like a 6% chance to get the number 1 pick, like it's gonna be great because we could be really bad.
Yeah. Andy, let me see if this helps you pad the fall here too. This is also a crapshoot. We were awarded
Is
a
this tailbone joke?
competitive
Pad the fall.
a competitive balance pick. So those are franchises who are smaller market who qualify for a pick between the first and second round. We don't always get one of those. This year we did. So we also have like pick number 35 or 36 just for free.
Why do we
because
get
we're a
that?
smaller market? Because we are a smaller market team, and it's just like a lottery in there too. We don't get one every year, so we have one.
Is this like if you have kids and you need to board the plane and you get to first?
Kind of, yeah.
Family
Okay, there you
seating,
go. There
baby.
you go. We got some family seating here.
So we have something like 4 picks of the top 100 picks. So there's an opportunity here. There is.
All right, let's transition real quick. The last thing that we want to talk about today, is the comments is the Chaim Herrera situation. Matt, can you walk us through, give the listener kind of give set us up what we're going to talk about here and why we're going to talk about it?
Sure. Yeah. I don't know exactly what the context was, but I saw this again on Twitter/X in my scrolling days. And Bloom said, when you look at Herrera's career, this is a direct quote. I'm not sure he was ever set up for success as a catcher. And that is a fascinating set of comments
Yes, it
from
is.
the president of baseball operations of a team who was very silent while the last long-term president of baseball operations had brought Herrera up through. Now, and I should note too, real quick, that Herrera moved through the minors under the individuals who worked in the Mozielak regime. So
Yeah.
Bloom rebuilt our minor league system last year. Well, Herrera was in St. Louis last year and the year before, so he's moved through all this kind of stuff. And I thought, whoa, boy, that is a serious comment. Here, let me set you guys up this way. Do you think that is covering for Herrera, like saying, let's have some patience with this guy? Do you think it's more that, or do you think that is more a shot at Mo? Because I think you can read it both ways, and I truly do not know which way it goes.
I mean, I think, Andy, I'm curious what you think. That is a shot at Mo.
Mm.
By straight saying,
Woo!
if you look at what he's gone through, he was not set up to succeed. I mean, I know you can say, give Ivan some chances here. He could just say, hey, he needs a little time to figure this out. He did not have to say he wasn't set up to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
That's like 2 shots to the chest and 1 on the head on the way down.
Yeah, I think that he full
Jeez.
body contact on the way down on Mo. Yeah, I think he took him down there. That is interesting to see some of that. To see if that. So we need to watch if that something like that happens again, or there's a hire or something that happens, and it's just like, what are we doing? Why is Chaim doing this? That's an interesting lens to now look about. Was there frustration from Chaim? Because Mo just thinks we covered it on this pod that he thought he did like no wrong in his exit interview, right? Like, remember that?
Yeah, that was awesome. Mistakes
I
haven't made him. Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
If Bloom is just bodying Mozielak, if that is truly what he's doing, I am shocked he is doing that. Like,
Me too.
Lord. But I will say, to add to what you're saying, Andy, to add some ammo, Bloom has been using the word urgency when for a decade Mo's byword was patience.
Yeah.
And so I just, wow. I mean, this is making me like Chaim Bloom so much more than I did already. Like, his farts are really smelling like roses to me right now. We'll see. We'll see if it continues. But then my mind goes to like, okay, guys, Dylan Carlson, what would Bloom have to say about that? Jordan Walker, what would Bloom have to say about that? Obviously, Herrera has been gifted offensively, and he's been successful offensively. So it's not like Herrera is a failed prospect. But we've all seen Herrera behind the plate. It ain't pretty. But I just start to think, like, if you are a draft and development organization, and that's what they always tell us, DeWitt's always saying, draft and develop, then this is an indictment straight to the heart and the rot. I know we've done this on this podcast.
Yeah.
We don't have to do it again. But my God, if this is not just straight to the heart of the rot. And it makes me really think, did we waste Dylan Carlson's career? Have we already screwed up Jordan Walker and there's no going back now? That's really frustrating.
Yeah, it is. And I think that's what's crazy is that Chaim has come in and has made all these hires too. Like, if you just think about it from an organizational perspective, like, take it out of baseball and you're the lead of this, and then you exit and they hire like 10 people to do things that haven't been done, you'd kind of feel like an idiot. Would you not? Like, oh, shoot, I guess we should have been doing this, right? And then you look, flip it back to baseball. He has said multiple times, too, we don't want to promote guys for need. That's what Chaim has said. Herrera was promoted for need. His bat, he's a hitter. He is a hitter. And catching is the hardest position on the field. Learn how to catch. Here's the other thing, too. Ivan signed as an international free agent at the age of like 17. He didn't go to college baseball. He had to learn everything about catching through the very bankrupted Cardinals organization, right? That's what he did.
Why did we ever put him
But
behind the
that's
plate
what
then?
I'm saying.
I don't
So, like,
understand.
I see here, and I see in our notes here, like, could this have an effect on JJ? I think no, because he's already ready. He went to West Virginia. He won a batting title in college. He plays a premium defensive position. They're not going to mess him up at second base. He plays shortstop. And don't monkey with his swing. The guy can hit. Clearly, he's done it. I think it's the younger guys that have been affected. Look at Jordan Walker. He was a high school signee. He has now been affected. Now, that's not like a one-to-one because Mason Wynn was a high school guy. Dylan Carlson, I can't recall if he was a high school guy. It just makes me think if you were a younger talent that signed into the organization and you depended upon the Cardinals minor league facilitators and teachers to help you, we didn't freaking have them. So it makes sense to me that Ivan has struggled with this because we didn't have any guys to help.
So Matt, you're saying this is like the PR way of like Chaim. This is like the PG rated of like what's actually happening behind the scenes of like he walks in
That's interesting. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
like he's walking into this going, what are they doing?
Yes,
And he's
I think so.
frustrated, and this is just like his like this is the way he has to say it. That's an interesting thing. That
I
he
love
was
it. Keep
so
saying
mad.
it. Keep
Yeah.
saying it. I feel like the Mozielak Cardinals were like Walmart, always low prices. And then you walked in and it's the highest prices you've ever seen.
Yeah.
They sold us a bill of goods for years. This is what we do. This is what we're good at. And what we're finding out is you guys were horrible at it the whole
Yeah.
time. And the next guy has enough gumption to say in the media that you were bad at it. And that is, this is one of the crazier things I've seen come out of a Cardinals front office in a long time. Just the boldness and the baldness of what they're saying there is crazy to
Well,
me.
and it's just like the dereliction of duties is what's crazy to me. Like when you look at this and you look at the Dodgers as an example, they are perfect at signing players in free agency and they are even better at developing them, right? If the Cardinals, like if Mo thought in 2021, whenever we went out and got Arenado, we need to shift some spending because we can't do it both ways to the major league team to try to win. We feel like we have a championship window. You sign Sonny, you get Willie. That is fine. Don't say to the fans that you are also like that you have this window and then you just completely tear down the minor league system. Why does it got to be one or the other? And if it's gonna be, you should very clearly telegraph that hey, we have a window. We're gonna try to win this. It's like you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, but Peter's dead over here now. It's like what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now
And
you're
Peter's the
right, Andy.
lifeblood. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sure Chaim has come in and he's come from Tampa. He had Friedman, who's just redone the Dodgers and all of baseball. Then he goes to the Red Sox, completely redoes them. He probably coming in, he's like, we need to blow out this wall. We need to redo the floor. Like, I'm sure he was absolutely floored.
There's some interesting thoughts about that. I mean, that it kind of on a very smaller scale makes me look about like to sympathize and empathize. It's like there have been moments in my life where I have showed up somewhere at a job and just like, what are you guys doing? Like, that's not what are you actually doing?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, do you think
there's
though,
one more person that needs a little bit of blame pie here, and we've hit this guy with some blame pie before. Bill DeWitt.
Yeah, I know.
What were you doing, sir? What were you doing? Were you asleep at the wheel? I understand you're not a baseball man. Like nobody's asking you to make
Too many yes
analytical
men,
decisions.
you think?
Well, it's
What?
complacency. Yeah, Matt. I was going to say that was when you don't get these outside minds or new people or fresh ideas, your farts don't smell good anymore. They're just awful. Matt, to your, very eloquent point
Yes, to my
earlier.
fart analogy. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It's just you start to get complacent with what you do. And I've heard Bernie Miklasz say this too. Not Bernie Sanders, if you were wondering. Just he doesn't follow the Cardinals. He might actually.
I don't know if he likes anything that billion is.
Yeah, that's right. He had said that we kind of fell asleep at the wheel. We felt like we were good. We didn't need to worry about this. The Cardinals are good at developing talent. We need to think about this. It's just what we're good at. And Chaim has a new mind, a new fresh set of eyes coming in, Andy, to your point, and he comes in here and he's just like, what is this? Right? So I think, and I feel bad for kind of dunking on Mo here, but dude, you had one job.
That's what the
this
millions
was
of
your
dollars
job.
were for. I don't feel bad at all.
Yeah.
This is squarely at your feet, sir. You had literally had one job. I realize it's a complicated job, but you had one job, and the next guy is just flat calling you out on it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Can
So
I-
go ahead, Jonathan.
I was going to say, this is the last thing I wanted to say. The fact that now we have redone our minor league system for Ranael Rodriguez makes me feel so much better. Right? Because he's really young and he signed out of, he's like 16. So now that there is this talent that you can refine now, I won't feel like there's going to be another Jordan Walker or another Herrera, or not Herrera, from defensively. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That makes me feel so much better that whoever comes in now, like so much attention has been put on the minor league system. I feel comfortable.
How many toolsy Josh Baez's are not always going to be toolsy Josh Baez's, but productive Josh Baez's? Yeah, it's exciting. I could not be any more in love with Chaim Bloom. Buddy, right now you're doing no wrong. I trust you all the way through.
I guess, we're just going to have to see where this goes. Like, he kind of talking a big talk a little bit, like shots fired. So it will be interesting to see how this kind of pans out. But it is, if this is truly the guy who comes in and actually knows kind of what he's doing, and it's like looking around like, you guys are looking at the same product I am, right? Like, this is not right. It is a bit exciting and it's going to take some time, listener, for effects like this to come in to develop guys. But it is at least nice to think that we have, because you like to think that you're good at your job, right? Yeah. So sometimes in that old guard, I think that sometimes through my life of like the older guard, and I will probably become the same way myself. It's an unfortunate fact of humanity is as we get older, it's harder to be as agile or transition into a different, state of things. And so
them tailbones don't heal as well.
That's it. I mean, you got a scab on your leg for 14 days.
In the words of Brad Pitt and Moneyball, evolve or die.
Yeah. So I'm sure I will become that old fart that's just like, oh my gosh, stop. But it's interesting to think that Chaim is saying that about Mel. Like, this old fart did not know what he was doing.
If that's truly what the genesis of those comments were, that is just bananas to me.
Yeah, it really is. That is.
And hearing everything that Chaim is saying, he said the word urgency like 15 times. I hit it with urgency. Do you think he's in his hotel room at the winter meetings like clawing his hair out because he doesn't want to force something, right? But he's wanting to get this stuff going. Right? I was going to ask you guys that earlier. Like, do you think he's going to make a move just to make a move? Or is Donnie going to be on the team? Could Nato be on the team? I mean, is this a realistic,
If he feels like it doesn't benefit us, I don't think he does it.
And don't you think we have to trust him? We have to give him the benefit of the doubt for now until
until
proves otherwise?
Yes.
Listen, I'm doing all this for free, so I am quite open to turning on it if I don't like what's going on. But so far, I like everything. I truly, legitimately like everything that has happened so far. I'm good.
Did you say I'm doing this for free? So I'll just say whatever I want.
No, you got to try.
I mean, I have no loyalty to Chaim Bloom. Right now, I've got a tramp stamp of him on my back. But I tell you what, they make laser tattoo removal now, so I'll get it right off of there.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Well, everybody, full circle to the tailbone.
I was gonna say,
I mean, we went tailbone to tailbone.
Bart's tailbones and tramp stamps, baby.
That's the name of
the
title.
Redbird
title
Rundown
is
after
there.
dark.
It is.
That's right.
Well, thanks guys for tuning in to the Redbird Rundown, your go-to source for all things St. Louis Cardinals. Be sure to subscribe and review the show. It really helps us grow. Honestly, it really does. So I appreciate the people who actually do that. Follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, and on YouTube for those latest updates. Keep those rally caps on, and let's go Cards.